This may be controversial, but pay to play is not the problem. The problem in the United States is the issue of supply and demand. The demand is brought by parents who chase trophies and want to win at all costs, which means they don't care about how their child plays. The supply is brought by the clubs to deliver on the demand of the parents. The supply being, who cares about how the kids play? Let's go to events and leagues to win trophies to make sure we keep parents temporarily happy. That is the fundamental crux of the pay-to-play environment. Because and there are some programs that have developed players, gone to college, to professional, been great people, gone to the next level through pay-to-play. So fundamentally, pay-to-play isn't necessarily the problem. And it's not the problem. It's the supply and demand of it. Now, if we could adjust the entire environment where putting the kids first, focusing on their actual needs as a child to develop skills, to learn at a fundamentally basic level, and to work their way up versus throwing them into the deep end of, say, 77, 99, 11v11, then we would have fundamentally better players, more prepared players, and players that have the ability to go to a higher level and not just be stuck into the, vortex, so to speak, of USU soccer. And we all complain about the cost associated with soccer, but we don't want to seemingly address the reasons why pay-to-play even exists. Because right now, MLS academies are 100% free. Because MLS academies are free, that means there is the opportunity for other organizations to be free. However, this is the caveat. MLS controls the environment right now. If any other program in the country can have incentivized reasons for free soccer so that other children can play for free. But the problem remains that MLS controls that and won't give it up and allow other organizations, so like my program or other organizations like a USL Championship, a USL One, to benefit from compensation for formation, which means pay-to-play won't end in my lifetime until that changes, until that fundamentally changes. But even so, because there have been programs that have developed players that have left this country or left the environment of youth soccer to get to college or professional, which means pay-to-play isn't the problem. The problem is what is given at most organizations at pay-to-play based on the supply and demand of the programming. So if parents go with the mindset of, I don't care how my child plays or how my child's team plays. I don't care what their level looks like, what his skill looks like. I just want to see little Johnny win, my child. Then that is the demand. Win at all cost, trophy hunt. What are clubs then going to do? Let me meet you at what you want. Let me make sure you're temporarily happy. And let's provide that resource. And what typically happens is between the ages of 6 and 12, this is like a doom loop. It keeps happening over and over again. Once the children hit about 12, and the stats tell us that roughly 75% of children are quitting sports because it's not fun. And if you think about let's think about fun for a second. Is it fun to play a sport when you literally don't have enough skill to play it? So for example, you don't know how to dribble an opponent. You don't have tools in your toolkit to beat somebody 1 versus 1. You lack the fundamental skill to pass more than 5 yards away, so you're not able to hit a 10 or a 15 or a 20-yard pass. Well, if you're missing the core skill necessary to play the game, that wouldn't be very fun. So for example, I don't go play baseball because I don't have the skill necessary to go play baseball. We attempted to we have batting cages at our indoor facility. I attempted to swing a baseball bat from the automatic pitcher. I don't remember the name of the machine, but it shoots a ball at you and you attempt to swing and hit it. So a batting machine. I guess that might be the name of it. I don't even know. But I attempted 2 or 3 times to swing and hit the ball. Bro, I was miserable. Why? I don't have the fundamental skill to do so. If I was good enough, I would keep playing. Vice versa, let's look at golf. I always make jokes. Everybody, they ask, how are you in your golf game? Bro, my golf game, not good. Okay, but if I attempted to put practice at it, I would improve, for sure. But I don't like to play golf because I'm not good at it. It's not fun for me when I take my driver and I slam a ball because I'm not using the correct technique, and I slam it and it goes into the water. That's not fun. That sucks. I get pissed off. Well, to have fun requires a certain level of skill. If I don't have a certain required level of skill, it's not going to be fun. And this happens with a lot of players. Now, the other side of that coin is maybe they have different interests. That's going to happen. They're going to have different interests. They're getting older. They're going through puberty. They're seeing different things of life, right? Those are things that will impact for sure. Okay, but let's put that down to like a 30%. That's not everybody. Let's put it down to like 30%. So now we have 45 left over. Okay, so then we got to determine how much of that is down to skill, okay, and versus skill, so fun, skill, fun. And then outside influence. So the outside influence would be like parents or adults constantly screaming at them. So you got parents or you got adults that are constantly screaming at them because they made a mistake, right? So those are things that ultimately will impact children along the way from the 6 to 12 range. And when they get to 13, they go, this isn't fun anymore. So imagine if you combine both of them. They don't have the skill and they have parents or coaches or adults in general that are constantly screaming, berating, ripping into them. That is not fun. So that would be the total of the 45%. So we're losing about 50% of kids at 13 years old because either adult influence of negative influence, screaming, yelling, bashing, and then on the other side, not having the skill or having fun. Or not having the skill to have fun, right? And those are simple fixes that we could fix very quickly. And this is why I say pay to play is not the problem, because there are programs that focus on skill development. Do you have to pay for them? Yes, of course you have to pay for them. That's why it's called pay to play. But truthfully, the reason why you pay to play is because there is not an incentivized reason for my program to make every child here free. Because I am not allowed to gain from compensation for formation. So because of that, which means I can get paid by selling players or transferring players, without that reason, without that incentivized reason, what reason would I have to make soccer free for children? Like, what incentivized reason would I have? Oh, well, it's because kids should play for free. Okay, they should. Who's going to pay my lights? Who's going to pay my energy? Who's going to pay for my field maintenance? Who's going to pay for my staff? Right, like perfect example, I'll flip it to you this way, and this should summarize the whole thing for you. We run a residency, which you can see behind me. And I was having a conversation with the parent. I told the parent, hey, I'd like to bring your daughter in. They were talking about wanting to do homeschool and having her train with us. I said, okay, we'd like to bring her in. We'd like to help you bring her in. Okay, great. They're like, okay, well, we want a top goalie coach. I'm like, okay, I can get that for you. I'm not a goalie coach. We don't have a goalie coach in our program, but we can find somebody to be a top. I reached out to a couple of people. I'm like, okay, give me your pricing. This is what it's going to be like. I'm talking to the guy. Everybody came back to over $100 an hour. Okay, $100 an hour. So I go to the parent, hey, just so you know, this is the cost of the goalie coach. He's like, it costs that much? Like, you're telling me you want a top goalie coach? You want a top goalie coach? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, if you want a top goalie coach, are you going to pay for this top goalie coach? So those are things that, like, I think a lot of people don't understand about the pay-to-play environment. He's asking for top. I'm going to go look for a top goalie coach. This is the cost of a top goalie coach, which is it's actually $120 a session. So he's charging me $120 a session, which I understand. And then the parent says, oh, it's too expensive. You said you wanted top. And I told him straight up, I was like, bro, I can go get another goalie coach. He's going to cost me $30 a session, but not going to be top. He's like, oh, I want top. Okay, well, pick your poison, bro. Where are you going to go with this? You got to choose who's going to pay this cost. You want that. I don't have to go get that. You want that. You pay for the cost. So those are things that I think people don't understand about pay to play. And then if we finalize this with, if we improve the education and meet coaches at their level, because let's be honest, the majority of coaches are parents or people that have limited understanding of the game of football. And if that's the case, let's provide them resources that are very fundamentally basic in nature so they can deliver what I call the best soccer experience. For this age range of 6 to 12 years old, the best soccer experience. That should be the target, no questions asked. Because if it's not that target, then fundamentally we are failing to meet children at their level. And if that doesn't change, how do you expect us to actually realistically meet or reach the potential to win a FIFA Men's World Cup, not women's, but Men's World Cup? And the answer for that is, it ain't likely, bro. Let's be honest, because if we're not meeting children at their level, we're not supporting coaches at the level that the children are at and at the level they're at, it's not going to be a fun experience for anybody.